Welcome to the Fandamentals podcast where we talk all things related to sports. Thanks for joining us this week. Man,
Mm-hmm.
Sunday was fun. Sunday was fun.
Yes, it
Fun.
was. Yes,
It
it
was
was.
fun.
And it started out really great and ended swell,
Yeah, it
swellingly,
ended
if I will,
swell.
if I
Swell.
swellingly, if I may.
Hey, you know
Yeah.
what? So start with when I looked at that Dallas and San Francisco 49ers game.
Mm-hmm.
At first, I was a little worried, right? Because I was like, man, San Francisco's starting out slow. And here's the thing, I'm gonna get people like, aren't you a Rams fan? Yes, I'm absolutely a Rams fan, but you have to understand how much I dislike the Cowboys to understand, right? Like, it's it's
Come
deep,
on now.
like
Come
it's
on,
really
somebody.
deep. I've expressed this several times. I can't. There's no other way to explain it besides like you know what I mean?
Yeah, for
So
real. Like
yeah,
it's just that it's levels and depths to this. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
it
yeah.
is it's levels and depths. I got a buddy of mine on, and I've known him for quite a while. He's always been a Cowboys fan, and he put on Facebook. He said, "Well, I'm hopeful that the Cowboys will just tank for the rest of the season." And I left a comment. I'm like, dude, you don't have to ask or be hopeful. They're doing that already. Like, yeah,
like
you don't have
like
to
for real,
ask or be
literally.
hopeful. They're
Yeah,
they're
literally.
already doing that, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, but no, man. So I was a little bit worried because we talk a lot of crap about the Cowboys, right? And I was like, man, it's gonna suck if the crap we've been talking, and then
You.
the cow, and then right, and then the Cowboys beat the
Yeah.
49ers,
I
and
mean,
then you know what I mean?
for you, it'd be a different story. Because either way it goes, you'll win at the end of the day. You know what I'm saying? Because you don't like the Cowboys, but
I
you ain't a
need the
49er fan either.
fan
So you
either.
want them to
Yeah,
take L's.
it's
So
it's
you
a
would have
win-win.
won. Either way it go, you would have found
Yeah,
some way to win.
right.
Me, bruh,
Yeah,
like I was in that mud looking like I cannot believe this right now. Like we
yeah,
really are we down bad, bad. And
yeah.
then when we started finally rolling in that third, I was like, okay, we rolling, we rolling.
Yeah.
And then it hit me. 17-point lead. We done blew two of these already this year.
Oh yeah, yeah. You thought
And then I'm
about it.
sitting there watching them just
Yeah,
go
you
down
was
there.
like,
Then all of a sudden
yeah,
defense being stupid, leaving CD and Lamb. I mean, like literally wide open.
wide open. Yeah,
Literally wide open.
wide
You got
open.
your that man was open and he got like a cornerback might be in the vicinity. The
Yeah,
first touchdown CD Lamb scored in that fourth. There was not one soul on him because our man done
yeah.
ran into each other. I'm like,
Other,
really?
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Really?
yeah,
This is
yeah,
what we doing right now? This is what
yeah.
y'all gonna do to me? Oh,
Right,
okay. And
right.
then the next
Yeah.
time they get the ball, they stop. We get a little field goal or whatever. Then they get the
Mm-hmm.
ball again. They just go walk right down there and CD Lamb once again wide open.
Yeah,
Nobody guard him. I'm like,
yeah,
really? This is what we doing right now. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just reliving flashbacks like, oh Lord, watch me go down here and this happen again to bruh. You talk about to really feel some type of way. Oh, I was about to be feeling some type of way.
Type of way. Yeah,
And I'm just looking
yeah.
like, dang, another person injured on our squad.
I know it.
We lose Jordan Mason. He was out for the rest of the game.
Game. Yeah,
Debo got a little banged up again. And it's just like, we are really getting plagued with all these injuries.
yeah.
And I'm seeing all these injuries that we getting. And then I'm watching all these other teams, they filling up with injuries. And then they going out getting receivers and all kinds of junk. I mean,
Yeah.
KC,
Yeah.
they done got D Hop,
Yeah, from
you
Tennessee.
know, the Ravens don't even
From
need
yeah,
nobody. They picked up Deontay Johnson from Carolina. I mean,
Liner. Yeah,
however good he's gonna be, but it's still a decent receiver for them.
receiver.
And
Yeah,
I'm looking at San Francisco.
yeah,
Y'all still putting Bell on that field after that disaster he put out against the Rams?
yeah,
Be like, I don't even want to
yeah,
see his name on the field no more right now. Even though
yeah.
I am, I will say this. Pearson, I like the boy. I like the
I
boy.
yeah.
Yeah,
I was
I
about to
like
ask
the
you about him.
boy.
I was about to
Yeah,
ask you. I was about to
yeah.
ask you.
Was it Pierce? I can't think I
Yeah,
messed up his
from
name.
the
Pearsall or something like that from
Pearsall. Yeah,
Florida.
Pearsall. Yeah, yep.
I wasn't big on him when we got him at in the draft. I wasn't really didn't really like
Pearsall. Yeah,
stand out to me, but I'm like,
yeah,
okay,
yeah.
little gadget play here, and he
You're
made
right.
some big catches, and I was like, okay,
Yeah. And I who was that
yeah.
third string? Who was that third string running back? He got
Oh
a some little
yeah.
wheels on him.
Um,
I didn't even know who he was. I'm
what's his
like, who
name?
was
Got
that?
it starts with a G now. I can't think. I don't know him like that. I didn't know
Nobody
he
knew
was
who
on
he
the
was.
squad,
Yeah, nobody
but
knew who he was. He had some little
he was
wheels going around that corner.
man. They say he run a 4.33.
Yeah, I saw.
I
Yeah, I
said,
heard that. I was
oh,
like, okay,
okay,
yeah,
okay.
he
He
was
hitting them
skating around them
holes. The
corners.
boys is hitting them
Yeah,
holes. I was like,
yeah, he
okay,
was.
yeah,
Cause he went on that first run, and it was kind of a long run, and I was
yep.
like,
That
man, he
first
was
run for
running.
20 yards. Then he
Yeah, I
hit
was
the
like, he
second one
running
for about
fast. So
17. That
yeah, I
boy
was
was
like, okay, yeah,
yeah. Just plug and play
yeah,
running back. That's the
yep,
49ers thing. Plug and play running back. And and,
yeah.
and that's been great. So at the end, I was happy we got the victory.
Got the
You know what I'm saying?
solidified the
The defense actually stepped up and was the reason why we even after those two drives, but
yeah,
that last little four and out they made the Cowboys go through, I was like, okay,
yeah,
yeah, all right, we got out of this one. Now, of course, it was a be honest with you. Let's be honest. If you watch the game, it was more of a blowout than really wasn't than what it was. Of course,
yeah, yeah, yeah,
when you
yeah.
talk about at the
Absolutely.
end of the game and just the big blunders plays that we had on defense that gave them the it wasn't really that close, but they did make it to where it caused me to sweat a little bit. But
A little bit, yeah, yeah, yeah.
you know, but
Yeah.
at the end of the day, the Cowboys are
We're the Cowboys,
exactly
who we've
what
been
we
saying
thought they
they
were, and we've been
bingo.
talking about. They still
Exactly.
can't stop the run. We
Run.
had 220, 230. I think it's like
Yeah, 200,
220,
two, yeah,
240 or something like that
224
on the
or something
ground.
like that. 224, I think it was. Yeah.
Killed them on the ground. They couldn't stop the
Yep.
ground game, and they couldn't run the football themselves.
Yep.
Outside of the blown coverages and stuff,
Yeah.
it wasn't like their passing game was that high either. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So, I mean, this is. I mean,
Look,
you could say they didn't have Parsons and DeMarcus Lawrence, which they didn't.
man,
You know what I'm saying? But they
they
played
don't.
literally
But
a
what about the
depleted
offense?
49er team.
Yeah. And here's the thing, man. I'm gonna get real with the Cowboy fans, man. Like it's it's multiple reasons why the offense stinks.
Mm-hmm.
Multiple reasons why the offense stinks.
Mm-hmm.
One is the play calling. One of the things that I noticed,
Boy,
one of
is
the
it
things
ever?
that I noticed in the do you remember when they started out the game and they were running and they were
Mm-hmm.
splitting the backs. They were running both. They would have, they were splitting the load of the carries, right?
Mm-hmm.
And if you look at that first quarter, the first quarter, they were actually averaging 4.1 yards a carry,
I
right?
didn't know that.
Okay, so if you look at that first quarter,
Okay.
they were they were actually effective running the ball.
On the ground. Right, right,
Yeah,
right.
but you could slowly see they were getting away from it. And it was one of those things where, okay, as soon as we have like two or three runs that don't do nothing, then we're out of the run
Abandoned.
game.
Yep. Abandoned the run.
Abandoned
Yep.
ship. They abandoned ship, right? Now, that's part of the issue. The other issue is when you have a wide receiver like CeeDee Lamb and you
Mm-hmm.
have a quarterback like Dak Prescott, you are setting yourself up for failure, and I'm going to explain to you why. The reason is when you look at Dak Prescott play, first of all, he notifies the defenders of where he's throwing the ball all the time, right? He's
Mm.
very, very plain Jane, no disguise. I look down my receivers kind of quarterback, right?
Right.
He generally knows he generally knows when he's gonna throw it to CeeDee Lamb before the play, before they even snap the ball.
Mm-hmm.
And and it's kind of up to CeeDee Lamb to create the separation, right? But
That's true.
what is happening is the defenses have just keyed in on that or whatever, and they put CeeDee Lamb in positions to where he can't get that separation in certain plays. And with Dallas's offense being so plain Jane, let's be real. Their offense is so vanilla. It's so plain Jane. There's nothing that throws defenses off. There's nothing to make defenses worry, right? It's so vanilla. It's so plain Jane. Defenses are like, all right, well, I mean, this is easy to to defend, right? It's easy
Yeah.
to defend. And the reality is between Dak, Mike McCarthy, and Jerry Jones being okay with what's going on, because what are we doing? We're still talking about Dallas. That's
Yeah.
still numbers. You think
Yeah.
Jerry Jones cares with his Ford deal, with his AT&T deal?
No,
He's
man.
he does look, he just wants to be talked about. Any kind of media attention is good attention for him. It doesn't matter, right? And so when you put all of that together, it's a formula for a bad offense. There's nothing on the offensive end that is like exciting about Dallas.
That's a
Nothing.
fact.
CeeDee Lamb is your exciting guy. And when you have a quarterback that is very good at looking at who he's going to throw the ball to prior to, I very rarely see him look off defenders. Very rarely see that. And I'm sorry, man. You just got all that money in the off season, and over your bye weekend, you were busy playing golf and getting engaged. And kudos to you, happy for you. Not trying to rain on your parade, but bro, you have a bad team. You should have been working on that.
He has a
That
very terrible team. Yeah.
right? Like, let's just call a spade a spade. Now, look, I I I, I hate to like crap on a team, and I hate calling players bad because they're in the NFL for a reason, right? I hate to do
Mm-hmm.
that, but the reality is, it's bad. It's so across the board. It's bad. There's so many bad things going on with Dallas right now.
Oh
Like,
yeah.
there's nothing for Dallas Cowboy fans to be excited about. And for once, and for once, in a no, for once, the only time I've ever halfway felt bad for Dallas Cowboy fans. I actually feel bad for them. And I'm going to tell you why. Because those years when they had like the Quincy Carters and all of that,
Mm-hmm.
those
Yeah,
years,
I remember him.
right? Those years, nobody expected them to win a Super Bowl then.
True.
It was just make it to the playoffs. They have a, mediocre team. You know what I mean? But when you pay a quarterback that amount of money,
You want him to
you
produce.
you expect more than what you are getting with
That's
this
a
team.
fact. That is a definite fact. I agree
And
with that.
that's just the reality. That's just the reality.
I agree with that. I
And
definitely agree with that.
now I I don't I wouldn't say that Dallas is the kind of team that's going to tank. And let's say they go on a let's say they win 2 or 3 games. Let's say they barely have a winning record, right? Let's say they get 9 wins, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't buy that they will, but let's just say they do.
Right.
I think that what you would see is a owner that would say, given what we went through this year, given the struggles that we had, that was a successful season. You know what that's gonna do? You know what that's going to do to Dallas Cowboy fans? Regenerate it.
give him
Regenerate it. It
that,
works.
give him
It
that false
works.
hope again.
It gives them the false hope. It works every time. It works every
Yeah,
time. It
yeah,
works
yeah.
every time. And yeah, man, I feel bad for him. I feel bad for him. A little bit. A
Let's see,
little bit. A little
they
bit.
not they and you right. One thing you definitely right about on that rant is that they just don't have no creativity offensively. Like
None.
it's that old. They running an old offense.
Yeah.
McCarthy is running a old offense, and he never really was that great of a play caller. He had a
No.
great quarterback when
Not
being
even
in
Green
Green
Bay. Not
Bay.
even in Green Bay. Yeah, in Green
Yeah,
Bay,
he had a
he had it
great quarterback that can
right.
create for you. He
Exactly.
he never really had a. It's just so vanilla. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
and it works, but the type of sometimes it works, sometimes it don't. The thing about it is, once again, you have to run the football. You have to be
Yeah.
committed to doing that too.
Yeah.
You go out and you get somebody like Dalvin Cook. Dalvin Cook is
Mm-hmm.
one of those. He's a Dalvin Cook is a good running back.
Yeah, he is.
You know what I'm saying? And Ezekiel Elliott, for all intents and purposes, is a pretty decent running back. You know, whatever.
Yeah.
He's kind of past his prime years anyway.
Absolutely.
But like when you have those type of running backs, like you said, you getting 4 to 5 yards early, but then you start abandoning the run. You start going to little passes. You gotta learn how to scheme your team.
Yeah.
Like learn different ways to get your playmakers the ball. Learn
Mm-hmm.
different ways. Maybe you don't the type of running game that you're trying to convey is not what you need to be doing. Like
Right.
instead of I can't really tell you what kind because they don't have much of a running game. I can't really tell you what they really could do. Well, I would say what they could do, being that a lot of times Dallas wants to play fast. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? Like when they had what you call him back there last year,
Yeah. When you
Pollard.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And
I think he
you
went
want to
from
play
Tennessee.
fast with these quick guys or whatever and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
They
Yeah,
should probably go
Tennessee.
with those zone running scheme.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know
That's
what I'm saying? You got a
yeah.
Dalvin Cook in the backfield. Do a zone running scheme or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Have like your Dalvin Cooks or your Ezekiel Elliott's play a little more in the short passing game that you want to try to get.
Right.
But you have to establish some type of run to even make sure things work like that.
Yeah.
Like I was
Absolutely.
listening to when I was watching the game the other day and you was listening to like Chris Collinsworth talk about literally their offense, like your receivers don't run any creative routes.
Nope.
You know, you're straight beeline down the field, kind of.
Field. Yep.
You know what I'm saying? You got quick players. Find ways
Use
to
it.
get them the ball. Like sometimes you'll
Yep.
see them do little trickery things, like get CD Lamb on a reverse or something like that. But you got people like Turbin out there. He's a
Mm-hmm.
he's a quick runner. You know what I'm saying? Get him on
Yeah.
little
Get him
wide receiver
involved on some of them.
screens.
Yeah.
You
Exactly.
know, just do
Yeah.
something different so you can move this football in different ways. You can't
Yeah.
go out there every single time and thinking that I'm going downfield, 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 downfield. Yeah, it's worked in years past, but obviously this year is not the same.
It's
You
not
know what
the
I'm saying?
same.
Teams
You
are
got to
low
adjust.
and then on top of that, like the whole like I ain't gonna lie, they was punching us in the mouth early. You got physical with us in the beginning of the game.
Yeah.
Then you went away from that.
Yep.
Like those are the strengths of people like Ezekiel Elliott and your Dalvin Cooks. They can be those damaging running backs
Running
if you
backs.
can
Yep.
put them in a zone scheme, zone them out, zone
Mm-hmm.
runs here and there. You know, do a little bit of power, a little if you want to do some sweeps, but they're not overly fast for you to be trying to outrun the defense on the perimeter. So
Perimeter.
they
Yeah.
have to play in between zones and gaps.
Yeah.
That's how you make them work. When you look at San Francisco, that's what we run. We run a
Yeah.
zone scheme when it comes to running the ball. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? It's all a whole bunch of zone runs. You know, we're hitting gaps and we're hitting those zone gaps and holes. It's not
Mm-hmm.
like it's just power football.
Right.
You know, it's not sweeps and all these things all the time. We run a bunch of gadget plays and stuff with Debo and things like that, but we do things creatively to try to get the ball to our playmakers all
Right.
the time. We're going to run to the side of the field where we know we're going to get yards. Hence how
Yeah.
we go to Trent Williams' way. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? We run a lot of zones. We got a lot of motion. There's a lot of things that go on in our offense. The
Yeah.
Lions run the same thing. A lot of things go along with their offense. It ain't just vanilla.
Yeah. Right.
And
It's a lot of moving
Dallas is
parts, but it's
exactly,
something you got to implement. It's the way of
exactly.
the league now.
Yeah, you gotta disguise things. The way that you
Yeah.
move, you gotta disguise things. Otherwise, they're gonna zero in. And you're gonna get what you're gonna get every single week.
Yep.
Dallas is gonna get whooped every single week if they continue the way that they are, because they
Absolutely.
don't have creativity on their offense.
Yeah.
Defense, it is what it is. I mean, you got people injured on your line, but your defense really can't stop the run. That's gonna be
Yeah.
a problem.
Yeah.
It's always gonna be an issue.
Yep.
But if your offense can't do anything and your offense
It
gets
doesn't help your
stagnant,
defense.
yes, exactly.
Yeah.
So like yesterday, they got stagnant in that third quarter. They couldn't really move the ball. If it
Hmm.
wasn't for, like I said, if it wasn't for some of the boneheaded plays we did on defense and hitting each other and stuff like that, running into
Yeah.
each other on our defense and leaving men wide open because of that, Dallas was probably. I have a feeling we would. I was thinking we was about to go up and looking like Detroit. They wasn't gonna
Oh
get no
yeah.
more than 10 points, and we
Right.
was about to score every drive from here on out.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Or
That's how.
something
Yeah.
similar to that. I was thinking the
Right.
ending score was going to be like 37-10. They wouldn't get no
Yeah.
more than 10 points. They
Right.
got a little bit in it at the end of the game, but yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
it's just bad all around in Dallas. Don't
Yeah.
get y'all hopes up to winning anything,
Yeah.
because y'all
And
still ain't even played the top teams in your division yet.
division yet. Yeah. You still have Washington. Washington looks really
Washington
good.
twice, and you
Yeah.
still got Philadelphia twice, who is starting
Twice.
to get into their zone now. The
Zone.
last
Yep.
3 games, they
Exactly.
started to look much better. The only team I think y'all gonna beat in y'all division is New York.
New York. Yep. Now we brought up Washington. I know you've seen the replays of the Hail
Oh
Mary and
yeah,
all the
yeah.
all the stuff
Oh yeah.
around that. If you are
Mm-hmm.
a Chicago Bears fan, I'm pretty sure you're pissed off, right? If you're a Chicago Bears fan. Now, now, whose fault is it though? Who are we blaming, right? Because we see your boy out there celebrating before the game even over. Hit the play done started. He still ain't paying no attention. Then he's the one to
my
tip the
dude
ball up.
was
First of
my
all,
dude
you're
was in his
taught
own
to
zone.
bat it down. First of all,
Yes,
bat it
exactly.
down,
That's the
not
first thing you do.
tip it up.
Yeah.
But we could also look at from a coaching standpoint, how do you let them be able to the play before you let them get an extra 10 yards because you played so far back that they were allowed to go and do that out and get out of bounds. That's
Yeah,
coaching.
that's
Um,
coaching all the way through.
that's
That's a problem
coaching.
right there. Here's my thing. The 10 yards, like what I've been seeing on what they've been saying, you did 11, 10 yards. It does help him get the ball to the end zone, right? But even still, even with that, there's no way in the world that you play that undisciplined on the final play of the game.
Yeah, I
You see
agree.
what I'm saying? When the
Yeah,
person's not locked in
yeah.
and he's late in reacting to everything that's going on,
Mm-hmm.
he's not locked in. You're, like I said, you're supposed to you're supposed to bat the ball down or
Down.
at least get an interception. Go for
Yeah,
the pick. If you
yeah,
can't bat it down, go for the pick. There should have been a guy who probably was Stevenson's man if they practicing it all the time. He
yeah.
should have been in between wherever it gets tipped and the receiver that's in the end zone.
End zone. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Somebody needs to be that in between man, because if it does get batted up like that,
Yeah.
you want somebody back there that's defending that to knock that down or
Right.
whatever. Just in between, just any kind of, like they say, box out. You're supposed to be
Yeah.
boxing out,
Box out.
like
Yeah.
everybody going for a
Discipline.
rebound. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So as much as we want to sit there and blame for that little 11, 12 yards, that's one thing. Yeah, it helps them get the ball to the end zone, but you still
Yeah,
got to defend that last play. The other
yeah,
thing that is bothersome is not only old boy in the corner that was sitting there running back there looking at the stands playing with the fans,
yeah.
your boy that was playing spy.
Oh yeah. Okay, yeah, yeah. I forgot to even bring that up. I forgot to even mention that. He was just there. Like I
Bro,
forgot I forgot to even mention that.
like bro,
I
like
forgot to even mention that. I forgot to mention that.
what what is you doing, my dude?
Yeah,
Jaden
yeah.
Jaden Daniels is not about to run 71 yards down the
Yards.
field
Yeah.
with 0 seconds on the clock.
Clock.
Come
Yeah.
on, bro. Like,
Yeah.
why are we playing spy on the final play of the game?
Yeah.
You ain't applying no
No
pressure.
pressure. None
You know what I'm saying?
whatsoever.
You could at
None.
least cause more disruption for that old line if you
Yeah.
would have been blitzing or trying to get to the quarterback. Make
Yeah.
him throw it faster, speed up his clock, make him move
Yeah.
and throw it faster, or throw an off pass or whatever.
Or something. Yeah,
You know,
exactly. He
make
didn't
sure
do
that you in
none of
his
that.
face so you can try to hit him. Let you know you're there. He just back there playing backyard football right now.
Well, yeah.
I'm like,
That's it.
dog,
That's it.
you ain't
I
did nothing.
he just cooling.
You
Just
just as bad as the
cooling.
man. You just as bad as the man sitting in the corner talking to the
Yeah, cause he was
fans.
just sitting there cooling like I'm like, bruh. Yeah.
Rush,
But
if you
but
but real quick though,
yeah,
and
yeah.
this is the thing. Everybody else is in they back there. They're guarding the goal line.
Mm-hmm.
Make it a 4-man rush, not a 3-man and a spy. I mean, that just doesn't make any sense at all.
Sense. Yeah.
You you brought nothing to the play.
Yeah.
Nothing. You
Yeah.
wasn't back there to bat a ball down. You wasn't up there
Yeah.
causing disruption on the defense. You was
Nothing.
just pretty much playing. You was just on the
It
field.
was it was like they was only playing with 10 people.
It was
Yeah. Cause
literally
he
10,
wasn't
maybe
providing
9.
nothing.
I say
Yeah.
9.5 because old boy was
He
back there for about 4
yeah, he was
seconds, not even in the play.
yeah. Yeah.
But
Man.
the other part that does go to that, which is coaching, is as a coach, if you are noticing, if you out there and you just looking out there and you are noticing a player is not paying attention, you should have been calling timeout.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's no
Yeah.
second. You had 3
Yeah.
timeouts,
You
so it's
had
like
yeah, you had timeouts. Yeah, you're right.
as soon as I'm out there, if y'all was paying attention, you've been out there and seen that boy up in the fans, wait,
Yeah.
doing all this stuff, talking to the fans. Hey,
Yeah.
hey, come here,
Yeah.
focus. You know what I'm
Focus.
saying? You know what you're
Exactly.
supposed to do. Focus. The
Exactly.
fans ain't got nothing. Talk to the fans after the game.
Yeah.
You on the field, they off the field.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The thing is, man, it's one of those things where, like obviously coaches are in their position getting paid that money for a certain reason. And
Mm-hmm.
we criticize players a lot, but I think coaches should get more criticism for the position that some of the players are in or some of the things, because that is a discipline thing, like,
It
and
is.
I don't know if it's, like I look at some of the younger players now. I don't know if it's so much in terms of how a lot of the younger players now are being coached. It is a lighter coaching style.
Mm-hmm.
I get the players coach thing and all of that. Like here's the thing, right? I'll tell you this. We could say that might matter a little bit. I'm going to use McVay as an example because he is the head coach of my favorite team, the Rams. Right? I'm going to use McVay as an example.
Right.
I in moments have been like, "What are you doing, McVay? You're getting pat." Like I've been. But here's one thing I know about McVay: it does not matter who's out on that field. No matter who he has,
Mm-hmm.
he knows how to put people in a position to have a chance to win
That's
all
a
the
fact.
time,
That is
no matter
definitely a
what the
fact.
pieces. And he has not showed us anything different from that during his tenure with the Rams. He has not showed us anything different because all he's done was figure out how to have winning seasons, right?
This is a
Same
fact.
same thing with Tomlin, right? When
Mm-hmm.
Tomlin decided to start Russell Wilson, and people was like, "Dang, Fields been winning though. Fields looks good." Now they're like, "Hold on though, hold on. One thing Tomlin does is creates winning records.
Yeah.
Now it might not be the lavish winning records, but
Right.
Tomlin gonna give you a winning record,
Oh
and
yeah.
we probably shouldn't question him.
Oh yeah. He gonna coach his. He coaches his butt off.
He
McVay
coaches
does
his butt
too.
off. He
McVay does
coaches.
too. Yes,
You're
they
right.
find ways to win. You know what I'm saying? Regardless of whatever. I can't
Right.
stand McVay getting on my damn nerves. But anyway, um,
But that's just one of those things. Like I'll give you an example. Last year, Kendricks, our cornerback Kendricks,
mhm,
he's got the talent, but his attitude and personality was an issue on the field. And I remember one game I was just like, dang, Kendricks is doing this. Like you just got burnt on this play, but now you committing a dumb penalty for talking stuff, all of this
mhm.
other stuff. Next game, Kendricks wasn't in there playing. Like I'm for real. Next game, Kendricks wasn't in the game
Gotta get him up out
because
of there.
yeah, no nonsense. That ain't what we doing here,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah,
And that needs to be the tone of your team. And I
yeah.
believe that's something that the coaching staff with Chicago probably should establish, especially with them having such a young team.
Hmm.
It needs to
And
be
that's the thing
established.
about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, they really do. They really do. And you got to
Yeah.
keep them focused at all times. Like, don't be in the crowd. They're not on the
Yeah.
field. We need
The
you on the field.
game. Focus
Yeah,
on the game.
yeah. When we're done here, then you go over there.
Then you
Yeah,
go.
yeah.
Bingo.
So they
Now,
need to focus. They need to have their players need to focus more. And I mean, give them a pass, a little bit of pass because yes, they young. Now I do like that the boy that Stevenson he apologize to his teammates
yeah, he
for his
did.
actions. So it's grown man stuff right there. But
Yeah.
you just gotta make sure that you focus all 60 minutes. You have to be
Bingo.
focused. Just any
Bingo.
little hiccup can cause a problem. Like we can want to blame the coaches for whatever that 13-yard, but at the end of the day, at the end of the game is what mattered the most.
Yeah.
That 13 yards wouldn't really matter if they would have played the last play like they're supposed to.
Fair enough. Speaking of what matters. Speaking of what matters. I know you watched the Thursday night game.
Oh yeah.
Okay. Face masks don't give you 8 points. A face mask don't give you 8 points.
No, it does not. It does
Okay, listen, I'm going here. I'm going
not.
here. I'm going in real quick. Listen to me, man. Listen to me. For all of
Yeah, I
y'all,
hear you.
for all of y'all that was upset about the refs missing the play. First of all, y'all keep showing the ref that was from the defensive perspective on the right, from an offense perspective on the left. Y'all keep showing that ref. What y'all don't show is if you look at the angle from above, there's two players in between him and that penalty being committed. Second of
Mm,
all, let me talk about this. When that play initially happened in real time, I had no
mhm,
idea that it was a face mask. When they replayed it, I said, "Oh shit, that's a face mask." Right? Here's the thing. Um, I've been very, very critical of refs. Right? Very critical of
mhm,
refs. And first of all, the whole gambling and all of that, and they wanted to look. Everything was covered already. The spread was covered, and and on top of that, everybody had the Rams losing. So, like, I want to take the gambling aspect totally out of it. Here's what I will address for the same people that are in an uproar for Minnesota. And I know this was last week, and things change like that, and our attention spans are like goldfish, probably worse than goldfish, right? But
mm,
And I just need to talk about it, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, for one, Minnesota was down by 8 with no timeouts left and a minute and a half, right?
Mm-hmm.
So they would have had to drive the whole field for one. They would have
Mm-hmm.
had to get a 2 point conversion just to tie it.
Mm-hmm.
So the whole Minnesota got screwed from what? From trying? Like, okay, was there a minute chance? Yeah. But the fact that they had only scored 6 points in the second half leads me to believe that, you know what I mean? Probably not, right? So we're going to talk about that face mask.
Mm-hmm.
But the last time we had the ball, there was a face mask on Kyron Williams that didn't get called. Guess what? Had that penalty been called, guess what? We would have had a first down. Guess what? We would have been able to run the clock out. So that didn't matter, right? So it wasn't them trying to give the edge to the Rams because they just missed a call. On top of that, the tackle, remember when Cooper Kupp catches the ball and he gets out of bounds a little bit, which
Mm-hmm.
stops the clock?
Mm-hmm.
Let's talk about that. What kind of tackle was that?
Hip drop.
I thought that was illegal. Okay, so like if we're gonna talk about it, let's talk about it. Like let's talk about all of it, right? And look, I get it. I get it. I've heard Shannon Sharp say all penalties aren't created equal, and
That's a fact.
the time of the penalties matter. The hip drop one mattered. The face mask on the series before mattered, and neither one of those got caught. So I'm just here to say, as a Rams fan, hey, I'm sorry that they missed that face mask at the end to seal the game. But y'all was gonna lose anyway. So I'm just calling it like it is. And man, one more thing before I close that out, man, it felt good to have Puka and Cut back. That's
I
all I gotta
know it
say.
did.
Felt good.
I know it
Felt good.
did. it, I didn't. I mean, I don't have a say in the matter. I mean, the only thing that I would even say out of all that is just the fact that, you know, as referees, just get it right. That's why I say
Yeah, just get it
sometimes you
right.
just need to be able to review certain things because sometimes
Things.
things will really look blatant. And
Hmm.
there was two refs that had an angle at that because there was one that you do see that was on the back on the defender side or whatever. Then there was
Yeah.
the ref with the white hat. I
Yeah.
don't know if that was the one you was talking about, but I seen a picture of him, and he was literally like there was nobody really in front of him, and he was facing the play and never called it. So my thing about it is just get it right, and you don't have to worry about any of these things. Now, the probability of Minnesota winning that game, even if the face mask was called,
Still, yeah.
I mean, you literally got to drive. Now, I've seen Justin Jefferson take. He did it to us. Take a big
Yeah.
90 something yards downfield. I've seen it happen. You see miracles happen all the time, but the probability is very slow. I mean, it's
Hmm.
very slim. And then on
Yeah.
top of that, even if they were able to drive downfield and score a touchdown,
Got to get a 2 point
you
conversion.
got to get a 2 point conversion. Then you got to think about how quick would they have scored? Because in this situation where you got a minute and a half left, you're trying to score as quickly as possible
Hmm.
because you don't have timeouts. You have
Right.
to move the balls quickly. So let's just say hypothetically, you go down there and you score next play. You know, you get the 15 yards. Next play, you score off a touchdown, and then let's say hypothetically, you get a 2 point conversion. The game
Yep.
is tied up. Oh
Hmm.
yay, woo, whip de doo.
We had
You still got
timeouts,
to stop the Rams from going down there and getting the field goal.
and we had
And the
timeouts.
way that they've been moving the ball that game, there was a
Hmm.
likelihood that you wasn't going to stop them.
Right.
Minnesota's defense looking bad. You
Yeah.
know, more of the story, all penalties, like Shannon Sharp said, all penalties aren't created equal, but at the same time, it
Now.
is what it is. I just hope, hey, get the things right on the field. If you get it
Yeah.
right in the field, you never know. Like, yeah, if they would have called that face mask, they would have got put, like you said, if they would have called a face mask on Minnesota when it happened,
Yeah.
you
The
might
group
not
hadn't
even
even
had
been
the
in that
ball to be in
position.
that position. So
Exactly.
it's just like you gotta, that's why I think that penalties, especially ones that are like that, should be reviewable in some
And
cases.
so
Um.
I think it
So yeah.
should be. Go ahead. You good? I like real quick. I
Hmm.
think it should be reviewable, but I think like let's say it's the last. I say let's do the last minute of the game, right?
Hmm.
Last minute. I think New York should be able to say, "Hey, that was." I mean, but it's got to be blunt. I'm not talking about like a
We're talking
hold
about
that we
blatant
see.
ones,
Yeah,
not
I'm not
like,
talking about a
yeah,
hold that we see
bang
on every
bang stuff
play.
like that. Yeah,
Yeah.
nah.
I'm talking
Mm-mm.
about like that face mask was clear. Yes, in the last minute, I think New York
Hmm.
could be like, hey, yo, y'all need to that's a penalty, right?
Last 2 minutes. Yeah, I can give you
Last
the last 2 minutes.
yeah,
New
I
York
could
can
give you
make
last two.
overturn calls, or make a call like that. Like
Yeah,
if they see a penalty or a blatant pass interference. But
yeah,
also, because you don't want it to just be one way, I think they should be able to do it to overturn calls as well.
right, right,
Because there's times where we done seen Kansas City, prime example, when they played the Bengals. Kansas City probably should have one loss in their record. What old
yeah,
boy did? Pass interference. Was it really a pass interference when you look at it?
right, yeah,
But then the
exactly.
very next week, Kansas City had a blatant pass interference against the
Against
receivers
Atlanta,
against
yep,
Atlanta.
yep,
None was called.
right,
So that's where I think that New York should be able to overturn calls
right,
on the field. Hey, look, no, this is a pass interference. Y'all needed to
right,
call that. That was missed. We're going to call it from here. It might sound egregious to some people, but at the end of the day, you get away from that. Oh, if they would have done, they cheating
yep,
for
yeah,
yada yada
exactly,
whoop. You get
exactly,
away from
exactly,
all of that, and it just be like
exactly,
the whole focus is to get it right.
right,
If the
yep,
refs don't get it right on the field, New York should be able to get it right on the what's called. If they can
yeah,
review all scores in the last final 2 minutes and overturn a call on the field saying that was not a touchdown when it
mm-hmm.
looked like it was a touchdown,
Touchdown, yeah.
if they can overturn that, penalties should be able to be done the same way in the last 2 minutes. That keeps you from getting all that problems um going forward. Hold on
Yeah,
1 second.
nah.
My bad.
Yeah,
One
you
moment.
good. You good.
My bad.
You good.
I
You
didn't
good.
know she was coming in the house now. But yeah, that's just how I feel. Like all penalties, they aren't created equal. I mean, they aren't created equal. But at
Equal,
the same
yeah.
time, I think in crucial moments of the game, New York should be able to overturn penalties, or they should be able to call penalties from where they at. Hey, look, this is blatant. We missed
Yeah.
this call.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go ahead and get this right. Now, I'm
Yeah.
not saying that they can be like the people missed it on the field, and then you going into the next section of plays, and then all of a sudden they go back and they say, "No, that was a." It has to be just like instant
Yeah.
replays that are reviewed.
Right.
If the
Exactly.
next snap happens,
Then that's it.
it's it.
That's it. That's
You
it.
know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? But if
Yeah.
they buzz and say, "Hey, look, nope, we need to go ahead and relook at this
Yeah.
penalty." We need to go ahead, and like you said, we're talking about the big egregious ones. We're not talking
Yeah.
about a
A little
a
small.
bang bang supposed this could be a hold, this couldn't be a hold type thing.
Yeah.
Those little things, nah, we're not gonna do that. But
Yeah.
like a pass interference, a face mask, roughing the passer, you know, things that really would be blatant hip drops.
Yeah.
I kind of don't even want to say hip drops, but
I don't because honest. I mean, because I'm gonna be
you know what
real.
I'm
Like
saying. I really don't
I.
like that.
Yeah. I'm gonna be real. Like I wasn't a fan of that being a penalty to begin with. But if we're
Right,
gonna call it a
exactly.
penalty, let's call it a
Let's
penalty.
call it a penalty.
Yeah.
But I don't want to stop the flow of a game, so I would say certain penalties, definitely defensive pass interference. Sometimes you see those things that should be called, they haven't been, like, and we already explained that. Those things right there, yes. But any
Yeah.
other little, bang bang, because you can call holding all game long. we're not going to do
Yeah,
that. You know what I'm saying? We're
yeah,
not going to do that. Then that takes
yeah.
away the fun of the game. But yeah,
Oh yeah, absolutely. Um, to kind of switch gears, man, I want to kind of talk about some basketball, man. I
yeah,
want to
let's do
talk
it.
about I want to talk about first of all. Let me say this because I'm a man that if I'm wrong about something or I change my mind or I'm starting to see otherwise that I could have been wrong, I
Hmm.
will say it right. You know
Right.
how I felt about the JJ Redick thing, and I was a little upset, and I was like,
Hmm.
he should be it, and and all
Hmm.
of that. I think I like him. I think I like him, and I'm gonna
I
tell you
mean,
why.
imagine why.
And it has. It's not even about the record. It's because he looks like a coach to me that is going to hold everybody accountable, including LeBron, right?
Right.
And I seen
Cause you talking
a
about when he
play.
was when he told him to shoot the damn ball or he
Ball,
shoot
yeah,
the effing ball. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
I saw that.
Right.
I
I
saw that.
like that
Yeah.
because Darvin Ham just be like, don't like no. I'm like, dude, you gonna have to talk to him, man.
Yeah.
You ain't you just you too lax. Like I like
Hmm.
JJ Redick's passion. I like his passion. I like I like where he's at. Um,
Well, I will say this. Yeah, he looks he looks pretty good right now. He got them
yeah,
playing like real good ball. Now,
yeah.
I would say, do you have to apologize about anything? No.
No, no,
I
no,
mean,
no.
because at the end of the day, I mean, there was no anything on it to really be like, oh yeah, this is a good pick. Like we said before, whoever you surround yourself with on your staff will also make you. You know what I'm saying? We was looking at
Right. Yeah, we
who was
talked
he
about
surrounding
that. Who we
himself with
surrounded by?
on his staff.
Right.
I don't like the JJ Reddick. I didn't like the JJ Reddick, being the head coach because he didn't have the,
Coaching experience.
coaching experience
Yeah.
or credentials. But I believe he surrounded himself around, a decent coaching staff too to
Right.
help him. But I
Right.
do like the passion of him to hold everybody accountable.
Yeah.
Now that was the thing that a lot of people were kind of worried about was like,
How was he
he's
gonna
doing a
be with
podcast
LeBron?
with LeBron. Now we're on the
Yeah.
yeah. So what it's showing is that I'm here to do a job and I am your coach.
Right.
I'm
Right.
not. We could be cool off the court, but this
Right.
is a job. You know
This
what
is
I'm
a
saying?
job at the end of the
So
day. We here to win.
yeah, I'm not. I'm not on that. Oh, you're LeBron James, King James. Let me not. Nah. If
Yeah.
you do something stupid, I'm gonna get on you.
I'm gonna tell you what else I
And I
like.
like that. I like that.
I like that too. I'm gonna tell you something else I like. LeBron saying, "No, I'm playing all 82 if I can. I'm playing every night."
Yeah, I believe when I see it, man.
But I like I
Nah,
like the fact that he said it. I believe
I ain't
I
impressed by the
believe it.
rhetoric.
Now,
I'm not impressed by the rhetoric. Hey, I I will hope you do that. You know what I'm saying?
yeah, yeah, yeah,
That's
yeah.
where I'm coming from. Like you're
Yeah.
supposed to. If you can
Like
play
that's
all
all. Yeah, like
82
no
games,
duh.
this is
Like
your
yeah,
job. You're
that's your
supposed to be
job.
out there playing all 82 games. That's what
Yeah.
the man. That's what the old school dudes used to do.
Oh
Jordan
yeah,
played all
absolutely.
82 games.
Yeah.
He had because he felt it was an obligation to his
Gation.
fans to
Right.
play all 82 games. I owe it to
Right.
these people to be out here.
Yeah.
Kobe would have played all 82 games if he couldn't. Heck, the
Yeah.
man tried to play with Achilles injury.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
that's not impressive to me. You shouldn't even need to say
Yeah.
that.
You
It should
said yeah,
just
yeah,
be,
yeah.
this is what I'm going to do.
I
Yeah, I'm
feel
pretty
you.
sure you want to play all 82 games now. You got to play at least 65 to get an award. So,
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
I'm not impressed by somebody saying, that's like me saying, you know what? I'm going to go to work every single day.
Yeah.
I ain't
Yeah.
going to
You're
call
right.
off.
It's just
So
like that.
you're supposed to go to
You're
work every
supposed to.
single
Yeah.
day.
Yeah.
This is your job. This is what
Yeah.
I pay. This is what they pay you for. You gotta pay.
For
So yeah,
right.
it's cool, whatever. But I ain't trying to get on no rant about it. But at the same
I
time, it's
feel
just
you.
like
No, no, no. You're
don't
right. You're
tell me
right.
you gonna come to your job every day and
You're
work
right.
when this is what you paid to do. You know what I'm
You're
saying?
right.
If you could play 82 games, play 82 games. If
Right.
you're injured and you can't, and it is what it is on that part. But If you could play it, play it. Why not?
Play it. Play
I
it.
thought we loved the game of basketball. I
That's
bet you
what.
guarantee
That's what.
I guarantee you, you will never hear nothing like that out of Kevin Durant's mouth.
Oh no.
Because we know if that man can play, he's
He
going to
playing.
play. Whether
Yeah.
he's playing NBA, street ball, he's a
Yeah.
hooper.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah. You're right. You're right. You're right. Um. Oh, I mean, I guess it makes me because we're so used to the resting thing. You
Yeah,
know what I mean?
yeah. I mean,
So
yeah. Facts.
it was a breath of fresh air, I guess, for him to say it. You know. Now,
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it
you know,
is what it is.
now that you said all of that, you kind of, you know what
I
I mean?
soured the thought process.
Yeah, you kind of
I mean,
ain't through it
it's
all.
just really, it's really hard for me to really just be like, oh, you doing, oh, that's great. It's like it's
Yeah,
not even to me. That's not even an insert in the passage that I should ever want to hear you say.
here,
It's like,
yeah,
oh, if I could play all 82 games, I'm gonna play all. Good, congratulations. I will hope that's what you would do anyway.
yeah,
Whether you said it or not, that's what you're supposed to do, man. You're supposed to be
yeah,
out there. The fans come to see you.
yeah.
Just play, just
That's just
ball.
play.
That's what you.
Yeah,
If you love the game, you're supposed to play the
mm,
game. That's how I
right.
feel.
Yeah, you're right. um, man, I also wanted to talk about this. I wanted to go out and I want to defend Bronny James, man, because
hmm
I generally. But the reason is because you keep seeing all these people like he took somebody else's roster spot. Like who? Because I started asking people who was the 54th pick, who was the 56th pick. Name me the 55th pick from last year. Do you understand
Yeah.
that a late second round most of the times is gonna play some games in the G League?
hmm
The
hmm
thing is,
Nine
man,
times out of 10.
9 times out of 10, the thing is, and look, you can't educate everybody that's on the outside looking in. Like especially like I see people leave comments and they only know about the Bronny James thing because it was such a big story, but they don't even know basketball, right?
hmm
And my big thing is even some of the ones that know basketball and they're like, well, Bronny's not that good, and I'm like, to who? To you? Because I can assure you that he has a skill set
hmm
that people see in the gym, and it's a big moment. But in the G League, he can develop, and that's where a lot of those late second rounders end up. It's just the reality of it, man.
hmm
It's just the reality that the G League is somewhere where a lot of those late second rounders are gonna
Yeah.
go.
Yeah. And
And
that's a fact.
for people to go out and criticize him and say he shouldn't even been drafted or he wasn't even good enough to be in college in the first place, that's that's hate. That's hate,
Yeah.
and that's
Yeah.
that's uncalled for. It's
Yeah. Because he don't deserve it. He don't
nah,
deserve
he
that.
don't deserve that, man. He
Mm.
doesn't, man. That's a young man trying to
Mm-hmm.
create a lane, trying to create a name for himself.
Mm-hmm.
And here's the thing, man. Um, I can assure you, if you're LeBron James, if I'm LeBron James, if you're LeBron James, if anybody leaving these comments are LeBron James, and they have the chance to possibly get their son in the league, and he's working hard, he's putting in the work, he's in the gym, he's
Mm-hmm.
working hard, they're gonna like I don't like I even Bronny getting there on his own, whatever. Like I'm not trying to say that LeBron pulled the strings. I'm not saying that. But even if he did, who wouldn't? Who wouldn't?
That's the
Right?
truth. Well,
Like, here's the thing. I might use this example. I'm a regular person. I'm not an athlete. I don't make millions. I'm, none of that kind of thing, right?
hmm
I have been blessed enough to be in positions and have relationships with certain people to know that when my child graduates high school, he has no desire to do college. He is interested in maybe a trade, no
hmm
desire to go to college. He just wants to work. I am
right,
blessed enough to have certain connections to know that when my son graduates, he has a job
right,
based on who I know and the connections that I have.
right, right.
He has a job. Why would I not do that for him? It's the
I mean,
same
that makes
thing.
sense. That makes
It's the
sense.
same thing, right? And so the criticism that he's getting is just undeserving to me.
Well, and I think I kind of I can I guess I understand it. I understand it from your standpoint, but I also see it from another person's standpoint of what they're seeing on the outside looking in. Like there are a ton of NBA players that have had, you know, that have their kids that's grown up doing what they do, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But look at it like Shaquille O'Neal, Sharif O'Neal.
Yeah, Sharif, I know.
He's not in the league.
Nope.
But Shaq was on some. Shaq told him, "You're not ready for the NBA." You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? He told him that you need to. I'm pretty sure Shaq could have pulled strings and
Yeah,
got
you're
him
right.
onto a team or something like that.
You're
I'm
right.
pretty sure Michael
That's a
Jordan could have
that's
did the
that's
same
fair.
thing with his children.
With
You know,
Marcus, yeah.
if he really wanted to do that, he could have. You
Yeah.
know, and I think that's where people kind of get a certain type of angle on it because you do get, let's just say, like just for the sake of argument, Bronny James, he's probably one of the only, and I would say very, very few pool of players that has a guaranteed contract being
Yeah.
a late second round pick. That's what rubs a lot of people wrong too,
That's fair.
because that shows for some people that would show that did you where most people would not have gotten that, you know what I'm saying, or at least gotten that chance, would you really be where you are at if it wasn't for your father? Now, that's just playing that role, you know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? That's the, you know, like you said, as a father, when you got an opportunity, especially with LeBron James and LeBron James situation, I am still currently playing. I
Yeah,
have
that's
currently the pool, so why wouldn't I make this work
yeah.
if I could make it work into that
Right.
favor?
Right.
So that's the part where people look at the nepotism of the NBA, which has always been around. We've seen
Mm-hmm.
it all through the
Yeah.
NBA. But I think the separation of it all for what most people is that, well, they look at it as he didn't really earn his spot. He was given because of. And you can look at it from two coins of that way. He did pretty decent in the what you call it, the combine, things like
Mm-hmm.
that. And then but they I don't honestly believe that anybody really had Bronny as a drafted player. I
Uh,
could guarantee you he
Probably
probably
not.
would have went undrafted.
Yeah.
You
Probably.
know, just he probably would have went undrafted. There's a
You're probably right.
possibility though that he could have been drafted. I'm pretty sure there's probably somebody that might have took a chance on him just for the namesake alone.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but of course, when you get things like, it comes down that nobody is able to draft him other than the Lakers.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? That came out that he wouldn't play for any other team because, the Lakers are going to draft him and all that stuff, or he was going to
Mm-hmm.
go to Australia, whatever they would say they was going to do.
Yeah.
You kind of forcing your hand to, you know, usher him in. And I think that's what rubs a lot of people the wrong way. And that's where you get the whole he's still in a roster slot, things like that. Cause, you know, I'm pretty sure just looking at it from the summer league. He
Mm-hmm.
didn't wow nobody in the summer league. There were
Yeah,
players
you're
out
right.
there that was better than him in the summer league that was
Mm-hmm.
on the team. So you look at from standpoints like that, like would he really have gotten it? Like got on if it wasn't for his dad, but he already had a guaranteed contract, so he already had a roster spot technically.
Right.
So,
Yeah, yeah.
and that's where people, I think that's where people come from for that. But like you said, as
That's
most
fair.
most fathers would do, is just like, hey, look, I'm gonna try to get my kid a part of this. I would like to play with him.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
is what it is. So I don't have a big problem with it. I already knew that, just judging by what he was doing in the summer league and anything else like that,
He
G
was
League
gonna
is
get
probably where he's going to be at
get
right
put in
now.
the G League, right?
And like you said, 9 times out of 10, when it comes with the second round pick, that's where they're going to be at. You're either
Yeah.
going to be in the G League, or you're going to be either undrafted, or you're not going to be on a team because you got cut.
Yeah.
G League, or you're going to be on a two-way contract.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
Be one or the other. Yeah.
So I could see where people come back and they say that other people didn't have the opportunity, or you taking a roster spot because they might have seen better potential on the team, on the roster. I think I read some article that was talking about how one of the guys that was on y'all on the Lakers roster during the preseason,
Mhm.
and he was shooting like 60% from the field or something like that. And he had, I can't remember his name, but he had pretty good stats, I guess.
Mhm.
And he didn't get the roster spot, the final roster spot. Of course, he didn't make the team.
Right.
Then people look at it, but he played better than
From
Bronny.
Bronny. Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
I guess that's where people are looking at it from. But at the end of the day, everybody should have seen that he was going to be in the G League right now. But we
Yeah.
do know that nepotism is part of the game. It is what
Yeah.
it is. Get over it.
Yeah.
Let the
It's
boy grow into his role. You know what I'm saying? Let him get some G League burn, and let it, that's his journey now. You know what I'm
yeah.
saying?
Yeah.
The first part of the journey was his father's dream. That's how
Right.
I'm
Right.
looking
Right.
at it. That's
Yeah.
LeBron's
That's exactly
dream.
what it. Yeah. That's
You
exactly
know what
what
I'm
it was.
saying? So
Yeah.
LeBron got to fulfill his dream. He had the power to do it, and he capitalized on it. So he
On
fulfilled
it.
his
Yeah.
dream.
Right.
Now going forward, all he did was guarantee that his son had a contract for the next 2 years, I think, something like that.
Yeah.
LeBron did his dream. Now, right now, it's Bronny to make a name for himself.
Self. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So now, instead of looking at it
Balls in
as,
his court.
he stole a roster spot, look at it as, now it's up to him to show that he belongs to the league. He
Yeah.
belongs in the league, because now he has to earn a roster spot.
Spot.
He's
Yeah.
in the G League now. He's on the roster, but he's in the G League, so he ain't on. He can't never play in a Lakers suit until they pull him up from the G League for
G
whatever
League.
reason.
Yeah. Yeah.
So now we'll see what he's really made of, and will he grow.
Right. Yeah.
Heck, if I
Yeah.
remember, if I'm not mistaken, ain't Dwayne Wade's son in the G League?
Is he? Let's
Zaire?
look at that.
I think Zaire Wade was
Zaire.
in the G League.
Yeah.
I don't even
I
think he
think
went to
so.
college.
Well, it's interesting. You did bring up Sharif O'Neal. You brought him up. Let's see. Zaire Wade is 22 years old. Sierra Education, Sierra High School, Sierra Canyon High School.
He
So
was
where is
picked
he?
10th in the 2021 NBA G League draft by the Salt Lake City, but waived in March 2022 after
Two.
suffering a season injury. I
Okay.
don't know if he's playing right now or not.
Currently, draft room. Let's see. Currently, there's no information of it. It says position point guard, shooting guard, but he's currently not on any teams.
Hmm.
So I don't know.
Don't know. Yeah.
Yeah,
Whatever.
it is interesting that you brought up Sharif O'Neal. That's a valid point. I mean, not interesting. That's a valid point. Yeah, like your argument is very valid. Um, the one thing that I was going to I guess combat that, or
Mm-hmm.
was I was gonna say the difference with Shaquille O'Neal is that he wasn't active. He's not playing,
Yeah,
and that's the difference. And
that's what I said with LeBron.
yeah,
LeBron is
exactly.
active.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you brought that up. So that was
Mm-hmm.
what I was gonna say, but you you had brought it
Mm-hmm.
up. We have a new segment, and I gotta make look. I'm gonna make some sound bites. We're gonna do something where we gotta create something
Yeah, yeah.
where we bring in the Y'all Must Have Forgot segment. That's a new segment we doing.
Mm-hmm.
Where and in this segment we talk about a player, wedding, you know what I mean? Like people forget about them, in their moment. It was a big moment. They was solid for what it was. Um and this week we doing your boy, Larry Johnson.
Grandmama.
Grandmama, Larry
I
Johnson,
don't.
Mr. UNLV.
Yeah, man,
Mr. UNLV.
man.
Hey, one of
Hey,
my
hey, man.
hey,
Yeah, go ahead.
one of my favorite memories when he was with Charlotte. I can't I can't tell you how much I miss the league when boys was like really going baseline and going in there and dunking.
Mm-hmm.
But when I talk about, like, here's the thing, right? I could talk about the moment, but let me just talk about him as a player. Let me bring up some numbers. All right, he wasn't like he was a balanced small forward slash power forward, but mostly small forward.
Mm-hmm.
He averaged about 20 points a game those first few years. He averaged about 20 points a game. But when you talk about somebody that played like with a chip on their shoulder, he was fierce. Like the
Mm-hmm.
boy was fierce. The boy
He
could
was
ball.
was
And and
mean.
and yeah, he was
He
he
was
was a
mean.
mean basketball player. And I
Yeah.
want I want to do this segment. I like to do this segment for the young people that may not have been able to go back and look at everybody. Like you hear the bigger names and you go
Mm-hmm.
back and look at film on them. But I want to encourage people, even when he played at UNLV, I want to
Yes,
encourage people to go back and look at Larry Johnson. Go back and look at his highlight reel. Look at how fierce he was.
man,
It like his game was beast.
man. Was it? Yes, yes.
Yeah,
He was that dude, man. That
yeah.
Charlotte team was that Charlotte team was so exciting to watch,
Watch.
man. But boy, 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 you talk about a load to deal with out there.
Yeah,
And of course, they played in the era where the 3-point shot wasn't
wasn't
prominent,
a thing.
so
So
it
he's
wasn't like he
and
was a big
his
three
shot
point shooter.
percentage.
But
Yeah, his shot percentage was solid too. He well in the 40%, 40 to 50% range in terms of
oh yeah,
shooting. Yeah,
for his
he
career, 48% field goal shooter,
right. Yeah,
33
exactly.
from three.
Yeah, I mean, and back then, 33 from three, especially considering he was a forward. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
what what would he play today? What would he play today?
he would play small forward, power
He
forward.
would.
He still play the same position. Matter of
You
fact, they'll
think he?
probably put him more at power forward than
I
anything. A
was gonna
stretch
say, I was
four.
gonna say, yeah, I was gonna say they put him at a stretch four today.
hmm
That he'd be
hmm
a stretch four today. Uh,
And
but
cause it's funny because he, he was athletic
hmm
for his build. Like
oh yeah,
we marvel over LeBron James, but he was 6'7", 250 himself.
yeah,
And he
yep,
was a load. There was
yeah,
nobody wanting to stop him coming down that hole. You know what I'm
oh
saying?
yeah. When he
So
would go, oh yeah,
he
yeah,
coming down that lane, you
yeah,
ain't, you know. So
yeah,
man, I mean, yeah, they would definitely put him at that four spot, and I would believe, and even in today's game, he'll be a stretch four because he
yeah,
could shoot the three.
yeah.
Uh, he would be dominant in this game too.
I
I really
I
think he
think
would.
I think he would average more points now.
Yeah,
Like I think
yeah, I think he
because
would at least 2, 3 more points per game than what he
yeah,
been putting up for his career. I mean,
yeah, I definitely think he's and that's why I try to tell that's why I try to people are always like the game was it was plumbers back then and all that, bro.
man, We
Man,
ain't
stop
talking
it.
about the 1940s and 1950s, bro. You're
Yeah,
talking about a time that was literally in the 90s. The
yeah.
90s is not that much.
Yeah,
I'm
it's not.
40. I was born in 84. I'm 40 years old.
Yeah,
So you're talking about players in the 90s.
yeah.
These dudes is in their prime. They ain't no plumbers out there. That's almost like,
Yeah,
what?
it's ignorant, ignorant, ignorant.
You know, you're talking about the 90s, the 80s, and things like there was nobody, no plumbers. These were literal athletes.
Leads. Yeah. Oh
You know,
yeah.
then he's one of the ones that he was one of them ones. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
He was one of them ones. Of course, injuries derail a lot of their careers.
Yeah.
Um, so you don't see a lot of the later years being as prominent or dominant as it used to be, but they played in an era that was a lot more physical,
Hmm.
more taxing on the
And they
body.
played more games.
Yeah, yeah, they
I
tried.
think
Yeah,
he,
they
yeah, because I think he had in them first 5 or 6 seasons,
he
it
played
was
all
one.
82.
Yeah, I think it was one season where he only played 53 from an injury.
Yeah,
Was
yeah,
that his third or
51,
fourth?
51 his third year. He played 51 games.
Yeah,
His first
yeah,
2 years, he played all 82.
yeah,
The year after the injury, he played 81. The year after that, 81. The year after that, 76. Then 70. And then he started going down to 49. Well, that was a
yeah.
lockout year. So that's 49.
That's 49. Yeah, that was the lockout year.
Hmm. So he
So
paid,
he,
he's averaged at least 70 game. He's averaged, aside from 2 years, one he was injured in a lockout season, you would say he's averaged at least 70 games a year, a
yeah,
season.
yeah. So that was the difference. Like one of the he was available. So and not
Hmm.
only was he available, but when he was on the court, he was productive.
Yes, very,
Yeah,
very productive.
Eh,
A
I
great rebounder, strong
mm-hmm.
rebounder, good
Yep.
offensive game. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, yeah, it's
Yeah.
there's go back and watch it.
Yeah.
Watch his,
Get on.
especially him in Charlotte. You know, New York kind of slowed him down, but watch his
Yeah.
Charlotte highlights.
Yeah.
Go take a look at the Hornets back in those days with Larry Johnson.
Yeah.
Watch UNLV version of Larry Johnson.
Larry Johnson.
You'll
Yep.
see why. The
Yep.
man was a beast. He was a
Hmm.
load to deal with out there. He
Matter of
was
fact,
definitely a load.
soon as you done watching this, soon as you
Yeah,
done watching
go and
this
pull him up.
episode,
Go
go
and
on,
pull him
yeah,
up.
go pull him up. Go pull
Yeah,
go pull up Grandmama. Go pull up Larry Johnson. Yeah, he was.
yeah.
I
Weird nickname, but definitely go pull him
yeah,
up.
yeah, yeah. But what you'll see, you know what I mean. Go down that rabbit hole, and you'll kind of see. But that dude was a beast. He was. Yeah, I had to. I that's why that segment's important for the youngsters that
Oh
didn't
yeah.
get a chance to see some of them players that we mentioned, but they don't know them because they wasn't you know what I mean?
Hmm.
They need to go and see like, hey, y'all just only know these names and y'all like, oh, the league wasn't that. Nah, you need to know that
Oh
there was
yeah.
some ballers.
Oh
There
yeah.
was some
Definitely,
ballers. Yeah.
definitely, a lot of them.
So yeah.
And you'll see in that whole rhetoric of they played against nothing but plumbers and stuff.
Yeah.
Bruh,
Stop it. Stop it.
let's just stop that. Let's just stop that talk, bro.
Using that
Cause
Jordan meme. Stop
cause
it.
them yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
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 Real quick before we go or anything like that. One more
Okay.
thing, real quick,
All right.
real
All
quick.
right.
And I gotta talk about it.
Okay.
Why they do your boy like that, man? Why they do Dwayne Wade like that?
Fam.
With that statue, bro.
Fam. Fam. Hey, here's the thing, right? So what's first thing I thought was I was like Morpheus, right? Like first, and then I saw the memes, and it showed, and then I saw these other ones. I was like, oh damn, it looked like that too. Oh damn. So
Oh,
here's the thing, right? I'm one of them people. I'm one of them people. Like as long as he okay with it, it's cool. But in this situation, because he was like, "Oh, it doesn't matter if it look like me. I don't want it to look exactly like me. If I
oh
wanted
my
it to look
gosh.
like me, then I would be out there and I would say, no, 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 Dwayne Wade, stop it, man, stop it, Stop it.
Mhm.
Stop it.
Stop the
Stop
cap.
it. Yeah, stop it, man. Like,
Stop the cap.
no, that's bad. That is bad, man.
Oh,
You
bro.
know it. You know it's bad. You talking about, oh yeah, I was involved in making it. No, like
I ain't even admitting to that, dog.
I
Got
would
nothing
not.
to do with it.
I would
Ain't
not.
got
I
nothing
would
to do
not.
with it.
I bro.
Because if I was making that mug in the middle of the process, when I seen them dudes scope the head,
Nope.
say, man, you got to be kidding me, right? This is what you doing to me
Yeah.
right now? Nah, bro.
Because the most accurate one I've seen is Michael Jordan.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. I know Michael Jordan was involved, and I know Michael Jordan was like, hell no, y'all got to redo that.
Oh yeah. Oh
Michael
yeah.
Jordan
Most
wasn't finna let
definitely,
it be.
bro.
Yeah, Michael Jordan was like, oh hell,
Man.
if it was anything like that, Michael Jordan would have been like, hey, we got to redo that. Yeah. No, bro. Like,
Why they
no,
do the
that's
boy like that? Why they do the
disrespectful.
boy like that, man?
That's disrespectful.
That
That
right
is
there.
disrespectful. And I don't
When
care
I
what you say, Dwayne Wade. You don't like it either.
You don't.
You don't like it.
You
don't
really
like it.
don't. You
Stop
really
the
don't.
cap.
Everybody else don't like it. You dang
Yeah,
sure don't like it.
stop the cap.
Bro,
You don't like it.
Stop the cap, because that
Yeah,
was
you don't
horrible.
like it. Be for real.
Yeah,
Be for real.
bro.
Yeah.
He looked bad, man.
Yeah.
Even the I'm not gonna even lie. Even the pose looked bad. Like the
Yeah, because
whole
it was supposed to be
face,
the one from when
and
he
then the
was.
the
Yeah,
whole
it was.
face, and then the pose. It looked. I ain't gonna say what I'm saying. What I'm trying to say, he looked like, but he looked like he looked like he need a little help.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
So
yeah.
I know where
I'm
you
gonna leave
at.
it at that. You know
I
what I'm
know where
saying?
you at. I know where you at. I know where you at. Yeah.
Yeah. I just had to bring that up.
Yeah. Yeah. That's yeah. Yeah. I'm glad you.
Oh man.
Here's the thing. I'm glad you brought it up so we could talk about it and laugh at it. Cause yeah, I agree with you, man. No, that's a no go.
Hey man, must have been a
no-go.
Cowboy fan that made that statue, because only a hater can make it look like that.
Yeah.
You had Dak out there making that statue.
Yeah.
All right. Not too much.
Not too much. Not too much.
Nah, I keep going on the Cowboys all day long. I ain't finished yet. Nah.
Not too much. All right, y'all.
All right.
Thanks for joining us on the Fandamentals podcast. If you listened all the way through, we appreciate it. Hit the like and the subscribe. And we'll hit you back next week with another episode. All right, Adrian. I'm hit you up, man.
Yes, sir. All right. Peace.